Despite reports of the Warhammer live-action series being his top priority, Henry Cavill reveals that he is engrossed in another project. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Known as the King of Nerds amongst his loyal fans, actor Henry Cavill's connection to the Warhammer 40,000 project with Prime Video was like a dream come true for many. But now, it seems like that dream will require time and patience to bring to reality. People expected Henry Cavill to be elbow-deep in the creation of the Warhammer live-action franchise. Instead, in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, published July 30th, the star revealed his immediate attention is on the Highlander reboot. He said, "Highlander. That is taking all of my focus. It's a project that I'm extremely excited about. This character is going to be a lot of fun to play, and I'm loving working with Chad Stahelski. He is a very talented man." Despite fans waiting with bated breath for an update on the upcoming Warhammer 40,000 series, Cavill revealed how he is not focusing on its development at the moment. On the other hand, all of his efforts are going into his upcoming film with Chad Stahelski. In the THR interview, the former DCU star said that he was extremely excited to be a part of Stahelski's reboot of this franchise, as he was a big fan of the films. He further stated that he loves to play the character he would be portraying, which is an immortal Scottish swordsman who faces off with other immortal warriors to obtain a coveted prize. Known as the King of Nerds amongst his loyal fans, actor Henry Cavill's connection to the Warhammer 40,000 project with Prime Video was like a dream come true for many. But now, it seems like that dream will require time and patience to bring to reality. With the reputation that Stahelski built with the John Wick franchise, the movie will be one to keep an eye out for. So far, Cavill and his former Man of Steel co-star Russell Crowe have been confirmed to be part of the film in the role of Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez, the mentor to Cavill's character. Since the story is fantastical in nature, it was bound to attract Cavill's interest, not to mention the time needed to understand and perfect the character is a long, arduous process, and a challenge that the star likes. Although none of these have a release date out yet, we can comfortably expect Highlander and Enola Holmes 3 to hit the theaters and TV screens in 2026. On the other hand, The Rosie Project is still one of his films that has very little info and/or updates regarding it. After his recent role in the MCU as a variant of Wolverine and with his action comedy flick The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, Cavill is now preparing for the future. And so far, these are the projects that he is confirmed to be a part of. Which project of Cavill's are you most excited for? Tell us in the comments down below. Therefore, it's safe to assume that the Warhammer 40,000 series can take till 2027 to fully develop and take over the entertainment space. Superman and Man of Steel finally go head-to-head in their box office earnings as Henry Cavill's legacy gets threatened by David Corenswet. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. When released in 2013, Henry Cavill's Man of Steel started off strong but hit a speed bump in the second weekend due to a flood of negative reviews and an even harsher word of mouth. At the end of its box office run, it held the record for being the highest-grossing solo Superman movie of all time, earning $668 million worldwide and $291 million domestically, the numbers. But this neat little number is now threatened by David Corenswet's Superman, whose $289 million in domestic earnings is expected to surpass Cavill's box office record by tomorrow, via discussing film. For the longest time, Henry Cavill's Man of Steel single-handedly held the honor of being the highest-grossing solo Superman movie of all time. But, not anymore. A decade later, David Corenswet's Soup, all puppy eyes, pouty face, dimpled smile, and naive optimism, has won over the fans for good. The golden favorite of DC, Superman, landed a strong comeback and hit a home run simultaneously in James Gunn's 2025 summer blockbuster. Now the DCU movie threatens the box office record of Zack Snyder's DCU film from 2013 and is set to surpass its domestic earnings by tomorrow, at best. If the movie were released today, Superman wouldn't stand a chance of matching those numbers. Yet. However, it is also important to note that Man of Steel was released more than a decade ago. So, when adjusted for inflation, assuming an average annual inflation rate of around 3.2%, for a more accurate comparison of the two DC films, Moses' $291 million would equate to $387 million, domestic, and its $668 million would be equivalent to $920 million, worldwide. In 2025, since Christopher Reeve took off with Superman, the movie in 1978, it has been one iteration after another of superhero movies and TV/animated series. Countless different versions of Superman, Batman, Joker, and Spider-Man populated mainstream media with countless reboots and restarts. So much so that James Gunn declared a ban on origin stories of Supe, the Bat, and Spidey. But despite all the distinctly unique versions of the Man of Steel, Zack Snyder's 2013 film managed to polarize the audience, and the DC Extended Universe it launched became the most obsessively talked about phenomenon of the 21st century, discounting Barbenheimer, of course. And it's not necessarily a good thing. For whoever said all publicity is good publicity has never lived through the DCU debacle that resulted in the Snyderverse resurrection and the volatile #ReleaseSnyderCut movement on social media. In hindsight, the raging public storm seems silly and a completely unhealthy coping mechanism on the fandom's part after not being able to come to terms with Snyder's WB exit. If the movie were released today, Superman wouldn't stand a chance of matching those numbers. Yet. Which of the two films do you prefer best? Spill your thoughts and make your opinions heard in the comments below. In contrast, James Gunn's fresh new start with DCU has not only healed the broken fandom but also shown the audience a better way to bring Superman's story to life. Corenswet Superman carries all the complex goodness, hope, and optimism that is signature to his identity, while also dealing with 21st century politics and humanity's modern-day woes that made Man of Steel seem so gritty at the time. Gunn includes every bit of Machiavellian machinations, a despicable and brilliant villain, masterfully choreographed action scenes, romantic interludes, and banger needle drops, all while evoking the freewheeling silliness of the Silver Age. Truth never hurt so bad, and justice never felt so good in this movie that easily overshadows the brooding, grim-dark vision of Henry Cavill's Man of Steel. Henry Cavill revealed back in December 2024 that he and his team have been prepping with the OG source materials for Warhammer 40k. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Here's what the caption said. My incredible team and I, alongside the brilliant minds at Games Workshop, have been working away in concept rooms, breaking down approaches to the enormity and magnificence of the Warhammer world. Henry Cavill once left the production of Netflix's The Witcher series after portraying the role of Geralt of Rivia across 3 seasons in the iconic TV show. Cavill was also removed from James Gunn's DCU from the role of Clark Kent/Superman because Gunn didn't want people to confuse the DCU with Zack Snyder's DCU. Well, facing closed doors eventually led Henry Cavill to follow his passion as the actor became actively involved in the development of a Warhammer 40k series based on the video games of the same name. Back in December 2024, Henry Cavill posted a little photo on Instagram and gave some updates about the progress on his Warhammer series. Henry Cavill portrayed the role of Geralt of Rivia in Netflix's iconic show The Witcher, but left after 3 seasons when he and showrunner Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich had a creative difference. Together, we've been sifting through the plethora of incredible characters and poring over old tomes and texts. Our combined efforts have led us to a fantastic place to start our universe, which has been agreed upon by those up on high at both Amazon and Games Workshop. Of course, there weren't too many updates about the upcoming show since Cavill's tease. It seems that the actor is working away on perfecting the show as much as he can and trying to follow the source material down to the last line. Reports arose after Cavill's walkout from The Witcher that he became increasingly difficult to work with ever since the production